It's too many O's to my name.
Now, if I were to ask you the question, what if Pikachu wasn't in Pokemon? I feel like it would be monumentally easier to list and document all the in-game and franchise or even gaming-wide implications on if a major representative like that was excluded or disappeared from gaming culture. But what if a lesser-known Pokemon like, say, the smooth-moving, nature-grooving, mono-rock Gen 2 icon SUDOWOODO was Thanos snapped from existence? Let's explore how this impact might affect the very world as we know it. Quick shoutouts to Blunder for talking about this inspirational title found within his dashboard. In the game, there's going to be numerous monumental and devastating impacts. Remember, at the time, new gamers only really had the previous 151 to build off of, and the 10 or so new Pokemon they likely encountered before running into SUDOWOODO. In fact, when they ran into SUDOWOODO, they probably didn't even know what SUDOWOODO was. It was right upon the intersection between Route 36, connecting Ekruteak, Violet, and Goldenrod, and suddenly there's something in the way. It wiggles, but it's not like any other trees that can be cut or headbutt in games previous. Is it a new type of move in HM? Is there a new type of tree? And it holds the player back from serious narrative portions of the game, getting to Goldenrod, accessing Stantler and Ekruteak, and then exposure to major legendaries like the Dogs, the Burnt Tower, and most importantly, one of the best songs in the Generation 2 games. So what if SUDOWOODO was gone? Well, Pokemon may have explored a much more varied gym completion direction, giving the user equal chance to challenge multiple gyms in different orders than planned. Without SUDOWOODO, this may have been much more easily exploited in Gen 2. Or worse, he may simply exist as a victim of the HM cut. They may have just put a normal tree there. At the level of battling, I think we would miss out on initial approaches to integrating move-based evolutions, like from how Bonsly would evolve. We would lose the curious moment that players realize, hey, why is this tree a mono rock? Pidgey and Spinarak populations would skyrocket as trainers would lack one of the early game's most prominent rock throw users. And interactions with key items in the natural world to identify new Pokemon would be more unfounded, because unlike traditional Pokemon finding or Snorlax in the Road style, SUDOWOODO was a moment for players to see a Pokemon existing in a natural environment as a piece of wonder. And the solution for finding out who he was, getting him to move, involved tying together visits to other towns, a garden store, and ultimately using a water pail. It brings the player so much closer to the experiences they might have found and lusted after in the show, for what they wanted in their Pokemon journey. This is a strong contradiction to how the game typically presents your exploratory journey to complete the Pokedex, and without SUDOWOODO, I think we'd be lacking a natural piece of curiosity that the game tried to experiment with. At the real world level though, without SUDOWOODO, there would be a huge cultural and geographical shift, and the Earth as we know it would cease to exist. SUDOWOODO represents this first initial push for understanding the natural world as interactive, and as personable, and as being alive, at least in concept presented in video games. And with it ceasing to exist, we would leave generation of gamers disconnected from important ecological and environmental activism. This would accelerate the apathy towards deforestation of our precious rainforest spaces, and speed up our eventual demise at speeds we couldn't possibly comprehend as a human civilization. Also, he's a goofy, silly guy, and Pokemon needs more of those. So even if you think that if SUDOWOODO didn't exist, that it would have no impact on you, like if mosquitoes were eliminated from the food chain, hint hint, that's also not true. SUDOWOODO actually saved our Earth, saved our world, just by being the goofy, silly guy he is. Thanks for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed this fun, silly video on SUDOWOODO, obviously inspired by Blunder's inspiration tab on his YouTube studio page. Let me know what you think. I'm happy to hear it, and thank you so much again for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.